All right, I think we can actually get started. Just to let everybody know before we start right away, if anyone's joining late or if anyone's just joined, or if somebody can't make it till the end of the webinar, don't worry, this is going to be recorded. So as long as you've registered, you should receive it in your mailbox after the webinar. And if not, just wait a couple of days. You should find it uploaded on our YouTube channel as well. And with that, I'd love to get started. So hi, everyone, and thanks for joining us today. I'm so excited to start this Nexford Virtual Tour with you. My name is Mai, and I'm an advisor here at Nexford University. I've been with Nexford for almost 2 years now, and it's been a very exciting journey. I've spoken with so many learners around the world, and a lot of the common questions that I get is, how will I be learning at Nexford? And, as much as you can go through our website, you can go through the different pages, you can read up on our MBA or our BBA and all of that, you might not get, a full grasp of the Nexford online platform. This is why we're doing this webinar today, to really show you firsthand how the learning experience is. And we also have on board with us some very good people. We have 2 learners. We have Elijah McQueen, who's a BBA learner from New Zealand. We also have Lonnie Belostrino, who is a learner, an MBA learner in the Philippines. And of course, last but not least, we have Professor Bill, who is a faculty member at Nexford. So I'd love for you guys to introduce yourself as well. Dr. Bill, can you please start off? Oh, sorry, Dr. Bill, you're on mute.
I wish I had money. I did that. Thank you. I've been teaching online for about 20 years, and I live about 100 kilometers south of New York City along the shoreline of the Atlantic. I've been with Nexford about a year now. I'm really enjoying it. I really like meeting all the students from various parts of the world, and it's so interesting to get their perspectives and looks at things. But I have a good time here, and I would hope all of you will have a good time too if you decide to join us.
Thanks, Dr. Bill. Lonnie?
Hi, everyone. I'm Lani, and I'm studying the MBA program of Nexford. And I'm studying from the Philippines. Just like Dr. Bill, I'm also having a lot of fun talking to a lot of my classmates and actually learning a lot of things. And I can say that Nexford modules and their program has been really helpful in my professional career. That's all. Thanks, everyone.
Amazing. All right, thank you. Elijah, can you please also tell us what program you're studying?
Hi, everyone. My name's Elijah. I'm studying the BBA program with Nexford. I've been doing so for about a year. I'm based in New Zealand, and I've been enjoying it thoroughly. So I'm excited to share a little bit about my experience together with everyone else here tonight.
Great, thank you, Elijah. Okay, so with that, I would love to jump in now into the Nexford learning environment. So what you see right in front of you here is something you would get more accustomed to, of course, as you enroll at Nexford. This is the Nexford learning environment, for short, Nextly. So if you hear me say that throughout the webinar, you should know that that's what it stands for. Of course, when you enroll at Nexford, this will be your new best friend. You're going to be able to log into this any time of the day, any time of the week. What you see in front of you at firsthand here in the middle are the courses that you would be enrolled in at Nexford. So of course, just to let you all know, I am on a demo account here. I'm not actually an Nexford learner. However, as you can see in the top right here, normally this is where your name would be instead of demo learner 2. And once you enroll at Nexford, you can start off with 1 course, and you could go on to even having 2, 3, or even 4 courses at the same time, which is why right in front of you here, you can see more than 1 course. And on the left side here is our navigation pane. So of course, this is the home button, so you can always navigate back to the main page. Here you can have, you can even add friends, you can add professors, in your little circle. You have a couple of resources and a locker you can add your files in, and also you'll find a couple of shortcuts for resources you have here at Nexford. Before I just jump in further, I see more people joining us. If you've joined late, I don't want you to worry at all. This is actually being recorded. So as long as you have registered for the webinar, you should be sent a playback for the webinar in your mailbox actually after the webinar, and also keep an eye out on our YouTube channel. You should find it uploaded there within the week. Okay, before I go into the actual courses, I want to tell you a little bit more about the right side here. So you'll find that this is a calendar. If I open that, it should take me here. And of course, it's as dynamic as any calendar you've really used before. You can add your own events. You can make it as detailed as you want. This can be, you know, assignment reminders, something like that. You can put as much details as you want. You can make it repeat and so on. You'll find that they're also color coded, and some of these are actually automated depending on the assignments that you have, you know, included in your courses. The great thing about this is that you can actually download it. So you can have this on your Outlook or on your PC. You can even download it onto your phone, so you can get reminders as well. Okay, back on the front page here also, you'll find a little to-do list for you. You'll find here, these are all the learners around the world that are currently online. So we're talking about, you know, we have learners from over 75 countries around the world. These are the ones that are currently online. You can actually click on them. So some people, some learners will actually have a profile. They'll put a little bio about themselves, even some contact information. And this is, you know, we really encourage you to reach out to other learners. And this is, you know, one of the like unique experiences you have at Nexford is that you can really connect and network with people from all around the world. You can chat with them. You can send them a message. This is all, you know, really up to you here. And we have this great tool here called Ask NXU. You'll always find this on Nextly. It's a great tool I really don't want you to forget about once you've enrolled at Nexford, because if you ever have any questions that you feel are quite simple, or that if you were to dig around a little, you would find an answer for, and you don't necessarily need to reach out to our team about it, just write about it here. You know, it could be something about, let's say, the orientation. And then you can just find an answer, you know. Find it quite detailed, and you know, if you still have more questions, we'll even have some information and an email address at the bottom here for who else you can reach out to if you have further questions. I really recommend you don't forget about this tool. And the last bit here is that you'll find an announcements section. So what announcements are, basically it's this area where our faculty, our writing lab coach, Carolina Fernandez, and even IT or our tech team will, you know, like send out these announcements, which you would get notifications for if you were to download the Nexford application, because there is an application you can also download on your phone. And these are great because, you know, you'll find here, for example, some drop-in sessions that our writing lab coach is holding. So these are sessions you could join in with other learners from around the world and get, you know, further writing tips and so on. So announcements are really something you should also keep an eye on. Okay, and with that, I think it's about time we jump into the NXU orientation. So what the orientation is, once you enroll at Nexford, 5 days before your actual program start date, you're going to get access to the NXU orientation. So let me show you how it looks like on the inside. You'll find that it includes 3 modules, as well as a start and a closing. Most courses at Nexford actually have 6 modules in a final project, because this isn't really a course within the curriculum. Rather, it's your welcome package as soon as you enroll at Nexford, and it gives you everything you need to know about who to reach out to if you have questions, how you can set up your study schedule, how you can navigate through Nextly, you know, our Nexford learning environment. And it gives you all the tips and everything you need to get started. Of course, you'll get access to the Nexford learning environment to be able to access the orientation. And on top of that, 5 days before your program start date, you're going to be assigned a personal and dedicated success advisor who will serve as your coach or your mentor and will guide you through your program, especially in the first couple of months of your program. And aside from your success advisor, you're going to also have 24/7 support from course faculty and professors, as well as our full success team. If I go ahead and I click on module 1 here, it's going to take me to this page. And if I press that little play button, it's going to open our NEO LMS, which is where most of your studying is going to be. You'll find a little welcome here about what the, you know, Nexford orientation is all about. It'll tell you everything you need to know here. And if I actually start the module, soon as you get started, of course, you're always going to find like, some tips and tricks here and everything you need to know to get started. I want to show you. As you can see, it's going to tell you everything you need to know about the Nexford learning environment. And important thing to note is that you're going to find at Nexford that not everything is only text. So, some people might worry is a lot of text and a lot of memorizing, things like that. We make sure to always keep you engaged with so many different types of, ways to teach you. So you're going to find that there are videos, there are audio clips, blog length articles, a lot of dynamic aspects. And this is the first proof of that is you're going to find this video right here. It's a welcome video from the Nexford founder and CEO, Fadl Tarzi. I want to play that for you just for a few seconds here.
It's been said that the future is a convenient place for dreams, so why not dream big? I've always known education changes lives, but I first realized its impact over a decade ago.
As you can see, as soon as you see this, you watch this little intro from our actual CEO, Fadl Tarzi, you can even find that there's a button right here to email our CEO directly. And this is just, a little sign of how transparent basically our whole team is, how we consider ourselves like the NXU or the Nexford family. You're always going to find somebody you can reach out to and somebody there that's going to help you anywhere from, faculty to our success advisors, to Nexford advisors, to our tech team, billings team, everything, and even the CEO himself. And you'll find that for most videos, there's also the video transcript that you can download here. So yeah, the orientation really, will get you started. It'll give you everything that you need to know. And you'll also find that we encourage learners at the beginning of their program to post in the discussion forum. So what that looks like, I'm going to show it to you here. Here's an example. So it's going to be actually like a requirement in the module of the orientation, and you can just kind of give an introduction to yourself to the global learner community. You can write a little, you can write a lot, as you can see, and you can even put your contact information so that you can actually get connected with other learners around the world. You'll find that we have other learners here interacting and also commenting, and so we really encourage that you do this. So once you start any course at Nexford, if you're always wondering, like as soon as you get enrolled in a course and before your program start date, or your course start date rather, if you don't know who your professor is yet and you want to know, for example, for this course, Business 6070, Leadership and Organizational Development, once you open it, of course, you'll find all of your modules in front of you. And if you just toggle to the welcome tab at the top right here, it's going to actually show you who the course professor is. Aside from a couple of quick links and important information to get you started, such as even the ability to download the syllabus for the course, if you simply scroll to the bottom, you're going to find who the course professor is. And so I'm going to let Dr. Bill actually talk about this course just in a second, but I just want to mention one last thing about our modules. You're going to find that all of the modules here, they seem to be open, right? But an important thing to note is that in order to move on to the next module, often it's going to be locked and you would need to finish the module beforehand to be able to unlock the next module. But this still means that you get an overview of every course, outline. And with that, I would love to hand this over to Professor Bill to tell us a bit about this course right here.
Thank you, May. I will. This is one of the courses that most people will see when you join with us. And it's a foundational course, as it says, in leadership and organizational development. Some of the things that are important from the course room perspective is on the left column here. You have all your assignments, the resources available to you, and right on down the whole list, the library, which everyone will become familiar with. And meeting the faculty, each course will have their own. And of course, the syllabus is your guideline through the entire program of this course. Along the top, the announcement area, I use that from time to time. And then the learning modules as May described. But in the assignment area, you will see it come up and list the assignments for the course. which it should do. There we go. When you first look at it, it might seem a little challenging to you. And honestly, some of the courses are. This is what we call learning. You're supposed to be challenged a little bit. As you look through that list, you'll see many of them are optional and not graded. Those are sections and areas where they're there to help you to understand the main points. So you see as you go down the list, the course introduction, all the work, and then you come into module 4 and so on, and it lists it. Module 1 explains it all. Each of these are laid out to you. Each of these will have due dates for you as you go through the program. The thing to remember is that you need to respond in a comprehensive and cohesive way, just to be able to demonstrate your understanding of the topic we're talking about at that time. Now, this goes all through. I'll give you this one here, the case analysis example. And this would require a certain amount of writing and a certain amount of research. And here's the instructions. They're fairly well laid out. This particular one is about the old McDonald's farm. And it goes through the history of it, and it'll outline the case. And when you do your homework on this and you complete it, you'll find at the bottom a place to submit the assignment and to engage in that assignment. You go through the entire course that way, all the time communicating with your faculty member. You have help along the way. We answer your questions along the way. Some courses have discussion areas where we can talk about them and go over certain things. I think it's important that you do the reading that's assigned. It's always important to do that. And then always check on where you want to be in the course. Timing is important. And I know I've learned, as I said, I've been doing this over 20 years now in the online environment. Challenges happen. Family, children, work, all these things come up. One of the good things we have here is the flexibility to deal with those type of things. I too am a recipient of online learning. I got one of my degrees that way, and it happens. So we have ways to do that. We have accommodations for that, so that you should never feel pressured and tense about it. We work this out. We get there one way or the other. We find a solution. So I get to the idea where we all have fitting in our education and in our lives, and it can get a little confusing and challenging. But you know, Melanie is one of my students in a class that I had, and Melanie, how does what we do here at Nexford work into your daily schedule and work into your work and everything like that?
So just like what Dr. Bill said, it boils down to one word, and that is flexibility. You know, Nexford Learning Portal, this is very accessible anytime, anywhere. So you can access it in your laptop, on your iPads, or even on your mobile phones via the NEO LMS mobile app. So they have a mobile app for your learning, and also you can, access it in your web browser. So you can study at your most convenient time and in your most comfortable pacing. And just like what Dr. Bill said, help is always on the way. So I really feel that the flexibility and the help, it's always there in Nexford.
Thanks, Lonnie. Yes, it's one of the things that's very important when considering a program, that it does work around your schedule. I mean, that's the foundation of online learning, basically. So it is important to do that. The other important part is you're here to learn the material. We go through the material. The material is there. Everyone learns at a different rate. Everyone learns at a different speed. Retention rates are different. So you may see the same material repeated a little bit in different courses. We're trying to reinforce that particular point of learning. I think the bottom line is we present you the material. Any school can do that. It's not a mystery on how to do that. We've kind of got that down. In the early days of online, it was a little more challenging. We used to send out videotapes. We used to send out booklets. Now we send out electronic messages. And in those messages is the keys to the learning. But I think it's important to understand that the learning is not just the material in the course, but you're learning about yourself. You're learning about your capacities. You're learning to communicate better. You're learning to analyze better, which is really a key in any degree program. It's most important part of learning is to learn how to analyze, because we can't present every single situation you're going to face, but we can present you with the tools and the materials to handle those situations. And that's really part of the underlying outcomes we hope to achieve in the courses we have here at Nexford. We also try to align our courses very much to today's needs in the world. Over the last 18, 19 months, we've all been through an enormous challenge anywhere where you live. The students we have here are amazing. What they've done in spite of so many challenges with COVID and managing with their lives and challenges in their countries around the world and communication issues and so on. So it's really important that we create a program here, which we have done, that can adapt to the needs of the people. Another highlight that I always try to mention is the relativity of the material. This material is not something that you're going to use 2 years from now, 5 years from now. This is some of the material we have that you can use this afternoon, tomorrow morning. It's relative, it's meaningful. These courses come from people who've been there. These are seasoned business people as well as academics, you'll find. So I think that's an important issue to look for when you're thinking about how you can use things. Oftentimes in a class, we'll come up with a theory or a practice or a model. And some will say, oh, you know what? We do that. I just didn't know it had a name. Well, now you're going to know what that name is. And you're going to be able to fit that into your own personal toolbox of how you build yourself to prepare for your career or to enhance your current career. You know, I know Elijah is considering a business. And, you know, to that point, Elijah, how do you think this helps in your planning for what you want to do?
So I'm starting a business. I've just as New Zealand is in a unique circumstance, as COVID's having a lesser effect on us, we're able to go around and work, is I've been noticing a need in my city for a lot of construction and trade workers. So I've had experience doing laminate flooring. So I'm starting a business installing and supplying laminate flooring. And so studying the BBA that I'm doing has been quite helpful with that, because especially one of the classes I'm currently doing right now is around business law, and I'm studying in university what kinds of business are best to set up in different circumstances. And that's exactly what I'm studying personally for work, trying to learn how I need to set up my business as a sole proprietorship or as a limited liability. And so the things I'm learning actually relate directly to my life and what I'm trying to organize, and also the fact that it's flexible. I don't have to worry about whether I should drop studies to focus on work and studying business. I can do it all at the same time.
That's great, thanks. You know, I do think that's important, and you raise a good point here too about some of the learning that takes place. Learning often just creates more questions, and we have that capacity here because these courses are geared towards that. As you go further and further in your program, it becomes more challenging. You know, a lot of times I get questions about grading and how we grade. Well, in my classes, I always try to start off easy and expect more at the end. We do concentrate on writing style as part of the importance of communication in the business world. So that's important. And in the beginning, your first assignments may not be what you want them to be, but you're here to learn it. So I don't particularly go heavy and expect you to write a perfect paper the first time I see you. I call it a progressive grading program. I don't know what others call it, but by the end of the course, I want to see improvement. Now, sometimes that improvement may be a whole lot. Maybe it won't be as much as some others, but as long as it's improvement, and if you're growing and you're learning on a personal level, that's what's important. And we have training for faculty that does that shows how to recognize that. So it's not always the same. And I think if I was to highlight one of the most important things that I enjoy here about Capella is the tools that we as faculty have to personalize the experience, to bring it forward, to make it meaningful to you. Each of the concepts we teach and the theories we teach has a meaning to it, but how it works to your advantage is the important part. So I'm gonna turn this back to May here in a second, but I do want to thank you. And I enjoy converting with all you people and having that time with you. And I hope to see you in my courses real soon. So May.
All right, thanks a lot, Professor Bill. I'll just talk about one last bit here in the leadership and organizational development course as well. Because one of the questions that we also get is, how would I be submitting my assignments? So here's one little example of something that we have called an optional self-assessment. So these are actually optional, but they're great for you to do because they really add to your learning as you're going through your courses and serves as a sort of knowledge check. So just to submit your assignment or the self-assessment rather, if you go in, you'll find that, of course, for each one, there are specific requirements, and often the file format required is like the PDF. However, this can vary from one module to the other. What's great is you can simply add an attachment of the file itself from your PC or your laptop and just submit it and save and submit it, or you can simply save, and if you're not ready yet or you feel like you want to get back to it later and give it a second thought, you can just save it and submit it later. As for the graded assignments, this one I'll let Dr. Bill also talk about it for a bit. This is a case for change, and these are really, I think, the kind of interactive and exciting types of assignments that you get. I went ahead and pretended to answer the assignment just to give you an idea of how it looks like on the software that we use between the professors and the learners called Turnitin. So how it looks will vary, of course, from one assignment to the other. In this case, you're going to find that it looks like a sort of table. Give it a second here to open up. So you'll find on the right side here are where my answers should have been, but of course I've left it blank. But just to give you an idea, let's pretend that I've answered the questions on the left here. You can find that you'll get immediate feedback after you've submitted it. You'll find feedback from your professor. It could be just something like a good job or something like that, or they can even leave more detailed comments, and points for improvement for you to say that, this is great, but it's a bit brief. Maybe next time you can do this or that. So even if you get a great, grade on this assignment, you'll always find that professor leaving feedback for you, so you know how to even improve, for the next course or module or assignment that you have. So Dr. Bill, would you like to talk a bit about this case for change here?
Sure. As Lonnie mentioned, the key points are on the left, and your answers go in the right. In this particular example, there are other assignments where it's strictly narrative, where you don't have a form like this. But in any case, as I mentioned a few minutes ago about being complete and comprehensive, and here's a little tip for all of you that'll get you at least 5 to 8 points higher on your next assignments that you do. At Nexford, we have what we call rubrics, grading rubrics. I see Lonnie likes that idea about the extra credit. We list a rubric that explains to you what we're going to grade on. We tell you what we're looking for. Now, you have to do the work and find it and identify it and put it in a proper format, but we're telling you what we're looking for. If anybody has any desire to do great, here's how you can be great. We list it in a rubric. We break it down into different criteria. Sometimes there's 4, sometimes there's 6 or more. And we say, we're going to grade you on how you understood a certain theory or how you understood a certain model. And we tell you that. And then usually in there somewhere is also about your format, about the grading. It's called APA style. I'll tell you more about that in class. It's a writing style we use in most business situations. And how you comply to that. Again, here's the situation. I don't expect you to be totally compliant in your first assignment, but as you get through them more and more, I expect it to look like a professional paper should look or response. So the grading is useful. And another tip is to read the feedback that you get from your faculty members. This is where we express our opinion on your work. And it's always good to read the feedback so you don't make the same errors the next time on the next assignment. It's from that perspective, it's easy. The work is finding the material and understanding it. There's homework. This isn't a stamp and get ahead program. You will be learning something here. And I said, you're going to be learning the material as well as learning about yourselves. So, and if you don't understand the feedback, ask. ask the faculty. Many times I get questions about what did you mean about this? And one more point before I turn it back to May. I personally have no problem with getting on the phone or getting into a Zoom session with a student to explain something. It really works great. I don't know how many a week I do, but I do many of them a week. When someone wants to talk about something in particular, about a particular assignment, a particular course, a particular program, something in business. I had a student 2 months ago who was starting a business, and him and I got on a Zoom meeting that went for over an hour, just talking about little things about starting a business and how to do it, and some questions about structure and things like that. So the help is here. It's up to you to use it. It's up to you to access it. And then we help you understand it. So May, I'll let you pick it up from there.
Okay, thanks a lot, Dr. Bill. Yeah, that's certainly right. And I would love to hear it actually from Elijah. How have you found during your VBA program so far, how have you found the success support? And, do you tend to depend on success advisors, or do you kind of go to discuss it with other learners?
I've found the success support team quite helpful for me, because I've quickly learned that I don't have to be alone, even though I'm studying alone here at home. Actually, for a time I was studying, my sister was studying with me as well, together, but because I don't have a classroom that I'm going to, at the beginning, it was a little bit difficult to get my head around the fact that actually there are people that I can ask. And so every time I've had a question for a success advisor or for a professor, I've been quite impressed by how quickly the responses come and how in depth they can be, asking for clarification from professors on what the assignment means, if I've misunderstood the instructions. The success team and other fellow learners actually it's quite a good community. They're all quite quick to help anyone else. It's not an aggressive environment at all. So it's been quite helpful for me.
So glad to hear that, Elijah. And certainly I can attest to that as well from our success team, that you're always going to find that they're there to support you. And as I mentioned earlier about our success advisors, so you're going to find a tool right here on Nextly. At the bottom, it says Success Scheduler. So when you click on that, basically what it is that it's going to allow you to book a one-on-one session with any success advisor. So you can actually choose the personal or dedicated success advisor that you were assigned, once you enrolled at Nexford, or you can pick, of course, any day of the week, and also pick any other success advisor, which is a great way for you to also get, more introduced to our faculty and all of the support that you have at Nexford, and get to know more of our community. So it's a great way, and just pick any, success advisor and the available timing, and then that's it. So you can book these one-on-ones. Often they're, 30 minutes of an advising session. And aside from that support, you'll find we mentioned earlier, Professor Bill mentioned it also, about our writing lab and something called APA formatting. So if I click on the writing lab here, and just to let you know, this is not a Nexford course, rather it's a resource that's always there for you. It's always available. And this is because we know that not everybody is a natural born writer at Nexford, and especially for the kind of assignments you might be given throughout your program, you might find that you're required to write in a certain way that might be a challenge for you, or you're not very familiar with. It could be new to you, especially this APA formatting. So you'll find everything you need to know right here. You'll find all the relevant and required information. And if you still have more questions, if you still need more help, you can always meet our writing lab coach, Caroline Fernandez. She was the one I mentioned earlier, posting in the announcements about the drop-in sessions, which she holds, which are an alternative if you don't want to book a one-on-one and you would rather join a drop-in session with other learners as well. You might find it more beneficial or useful because you might hear different questions, and also, of course, get acquainted with other learners. On the other hand, if you would rather have the one-on-one session, so you can also book that here. And so you'll always find support for sure. And aside from that, I want to also let you know that, as I mentioned earlier, you can download the Nexford application. So Lonnie mentioned it as well. There's a NXU LMS app. So once you get enrolled at Nexford with your credentials, you can sign into this application. And while you still need a PC or laptop to go through your studies, you can definitely study on the go and access your courses and do some reading or even some listening if they're audio clips. So it's really good for you to do, so you can just log in around your life and still study even if you have a busy schedule. So Lonnie, considering all this, everything that you've mentioned about the community and how you can even join them in drop-in sessions, have you had a chance through any of these, tools to make friends with Nexford learners around the globe?
So it just come to my knowledge that there are, WhatsApp group for certain courses, and actually because the contact number is provided in your bio, you can actually reach out to different people. But how I did it is I reached out to different learners via LinkedIn, and then through that I was able to discuss with them the current learnings or the current courses that they are going through. And then for some of the learners that are going through the same subjects that I do, then we discuss our assignments, we discuss our learnings, and of course if there are, questions that we have that we want to discuss with ourselves first before raising it to the success advisor or to the professors, we can do that. And of course, you can reach them through Microsoft Teams and through this one, the in-app embedded chat here in the Nexford learning environment. So I think networking is really good when you enroll in Nexford.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Lonnie. So just a reminder to everyone who is joined with us right now, if you've joined late and you feel like you might have missed a bit of the webinar at the beginning, I don't want you to worry at all. This is being recorded. So as long as you've registered for the webinar, you're going to get playback right in your mailbox. So make sure to keep an eye on that. And also you'll find a recording uploaded on YouTube, on our YouTube channel too. So another feature I want to talk about, as the part of our benefits that we have at Nexford, you'll find this NXU library right here. And what basically this is it's a great, it's a huge database of news and publications, encyclopedias over various fields and industries. And you can really use this during your course. It's a great resource of information, and it's a great research tool as well to use throughout your program. So as you can see, it's quite robust and it's really quite useful. You can even use it on your business if you like. And aside from that, if you don't already know, once you enroll at Nexford, you also get free and unlimited access to over 16,000 courses on LinkedIn Learning. So this is a great addition to the learning that you're doing throughout your program. You'll actually find some of these courses are embedded in some of the modules in your program, so you can add on top of what you're studying at the moment a certificate from LinkedIn Learning. And if it's not embedded, you can definitely do it on your free time if your schedule allows it. You'll find that a lot of our learners really love the extra learning that they can do with LinkedIn Learning, especially because you might find fields and different industries and topics that are not included in your program as well. So as you can see here, they really love sharing, once you get the certificate, you can, show off your certificate on your social media and, show everybody what you've learned. And aside from these certificates, you also get these digital badges. So these aren't in every single Nexford course. However, they're in most of our courses. Once you've completed it, you'll get a digital badge, which can showcase, the competencies that you learn throughout the actual course. And if you've shared this, what's great, as you can see, some learners, I think, make a hobby of collecting them. It's really, I think it really encourages you to keep on learning. And if you're sharing it with your community and your followers, not everybody might know what this digital badge actually means. What's great is that simply if you click on it, it's going to take you to this page, and it's going to specifically describe what you learned in order to earn this digital badge. Right, and aside from that, I think another great thing for aspiring learners, if you still have more questions, if you want to get a better idea of the Nexford learning environment or the Nexford learning experience, I would recommend you also join our Facebook group, Nexford Network. We have over 3,000 members so far. You'll find a lot of aspiring as well as new learners and even old learners that are posting in the group that are excited to start their program. They can even put tips and tricks for their Nexford learning experience so far. And so I think you'll really enjoy also in this group. And you'll find that there are WhatsApp groups for both learners as well as aspiring learners, as Lonnie also mentioned. So these WhatsApp groups can be country specific, they can be program specific. So it's really another great way to connect with learners. And additionally, you also get a Isaac card. So this is a digital international student card that you get. It's an official ID card that confirms you're a student at a recognized university, and the virtual card actually gives you access to thousands of discounts around the world. So that's over, I think, 150,000 student discounts, which you can use on things like shopping, hotel accommodation, and so on. So a lot of our learners really find this beneficial as well. And I think one of our questions also that we often get is, well, okay, I'm learning throughout my program. How about graduation? Will you still help me with my career? And the answer is definitely yes. In fact, we help you with your career from day one at Nexford. For most people, for example, if you're taking an MBA, during your third month learning with us, you're going to have your first career planning session. This is because you're assigned also a career advisor who is going to help you with career progression as well as employment after graduation. So through this career services portal, you're going to find a lot of features which can really help you. One of our offerings is called Localized, and through Localized, you can actually meet with career coaches and mentors. You can join these virtual job fairs around the world, and it can really help you with your career. And aside from that, if you're based in Africa, you can also join IBM Digital Nation Africa. It's where you can also find courses, a lot of which are more, tech related. Definitely check it out. You can still have a look at it. It's in addition to LinkedIn Learning, of course, but it's only it's for people who are based in Africa, learners in Africa. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, you get a career advisor. And last but not least, I'd love to talk about a new offering also that we have. And I just want to reiterate that this is for learners in Nigeria. If you would like to start a BBA or an MBA program with Nexford, we're excited to announce this new partnership we have with Sterling Bank, the Fund Your Future program. It allows you to get, by applying for a flexible loan from Sterling Bank, you can actually fund your online degree, and you would be able to get 15% off of your MBA or BBA program, as well as the chance to apply for a position with Sterling Bank after your graduation. So if you have any questions about any of these, please share in the Q&A section. You can also alternatively send an email to help@nexford.org, and we're definitely there to help you. Right, so that's pretty much our Nexford learning environment. I'd love to give the question here to Elijah. Can you tell us, tell everybody about your Nexford learning journey? What were some of your favorite parts? What were some of your challenges?
I think challenge and favorite parts are a little bit combined. Before I started studying, one of my personal challenges was time management, a little bit of procrastination here and there that I brought on from high school, I think. But I've enjoyed learning how to manage my time through Nexford by having the calendars helped me a lot, where I've known what assignments are due when. So I've managed to organize myself to the point where when my course starts, I already know when all the due dates are, and I'll mark them all, and I keep tabs on when my assignments are due, so that when I'm planning activities, I still manage to go out and go on road trips to spend time with my friends and family and work while studying, because I've learned how to not procrastinate, essentially learned how to manage my assignments and do them on time so that I can be happy with my work. So yeah, my favorite part of studying at Nexford has been learning how to be happy with work that I'm handing in, because I'm doing it in a comfortable time frame.
That's incredible. Thanks, Elijah. Yeah, definitely. We want everybody to still be able to have a life, around their program, which is why really you can log in any time of the day, any time of the week. as long as you, of course, complete your courses in the time that it's designed to complete them. We have some questions about that we'll get to actually in the Q&A section in a minute. But before we do, I would love some, parting words from the wisdom of Lonnie and Elijah as being learners at Nexford so far. Starting with Elijah, if you have any advice for aspiring learners in your experience so far.
Definitely, I would say learn the calendar, look at the assignment dates at the very beginning, but also don't be afraid to get in touch with the professor whenever you need to. Send an email, flick a message like Dr. Bill said. The professors are always helpful and eager to have a phone call or send a message to clarify anything.
Okay, incredible. All right, thanks. Lonnie, do you have some advice as well for us?
So for the current learners, I think as with every goal that we have in life, dedication, discipline, focus, time management, as Elijah just mentioned, this is really vital for our success in Nexford. And know that help is always on the way. We have the success advisors and we have our professors. And for those that are here in this webinar because you are interested in taking courses here in Nexford, if you are hesitant, you can take my word for it that this university has really taught me a lot of things. And it's very convenient learning through this online university due to its flexibility and that guidance and help is always there. And the cost is really competitive and it's really worth it. And if you are still hesitant, well, like what I did, you can reach out to different learners across the world through LinkedIn, and I'm sure that they are going to ease whatever concerns or doubts that you have. And of course, you can talk to anyone in Nexford because they are going to reply to you as they are very accommodating. That's it from me.
That's perfect advice. Thanks a lot, Lonnie. Okay, we have a couple of questions. I think we can jump to the Q&A section now. For anybody who hasn't sent in questions, but you have questions you want to ask, please send them in. Make sure to send them in the Q&A part because I see some people sending in questions on the chat. So let's start with this one since I mentioned a bit about it earlier. So we have a question from Zaid Sifat. He says, he's asking, what the maximum days that you have to finish a course. So every course at Nexford is designed to take you 8 weeks to complete. And by that, I mean the actual deadline for the course is 8 weeks, which is honestly more than enough time, I think, for anybody to complete one course. And the proof for that is that we have a lot of learners that are taking more than one course at the same time. Okay, and we have a question from Adamu Yakubu who says, what is the mode of exams on MBA? So at Nexford in general, we don't actually have exams, whether it's an MBA or BBA or whatever program you're taking at Nexford. So it's not like school. Instead, we have final projects and assignments which are graded. So every course you take has the same learning sequence. You would take 6 modules and then end it with a final project. And of course, 5 other assignments. And so that's a total of 6 graded assignments. So we would rather see you learning through the, your assignments instead of exams. And we have a question from Balarabe Yu who says, what are the courses' duration? So every course at Nexford or program has a different duration, and it's an average duration. This is not fixed because you can study as fast or as slow as you want, provided that you complete each course within 8 weeks. Of course, there are specific deadlines for your courses that you need to complete monthly. And having said that, there is an average duration for all of our programs. So if you're actually applying for our MBA program, the average duration for that is 15 months. And for our associate degree, which is an Associate of Applied Science and Business degree, that has an 18 months average duration. And finally, for the BBA or Bachelor of Business Administration, that has 36 months as an average completion time. Like I said, it's definitely an average. So we have found learners that have quite impressed us and finished their programs at a record rate, so you can read more about that on our blog also. We have an NXU Insights blog. You'll find a lot of learner stories also about their experience. So it really depends on your schedule and how much time you're able to invest every week or every day. Okay, and let's see. Okay, I see that somebody's asking also from an anonymous attendee here, asking if you register for a certificate course at Nexford, would you still have access to LinkedIn Learning? Yes. The answer is yes. All you need to do is enroll at Nexford and you will definitely get access to a link. And we have another question that says, will you issue a transcript when needed? Certainly. So you just reach out to your success advisor or your success team, or even our admissions team. We also have a registrar office. So you're going to know who exactly to reach out to at what stage during your program with the help of your success advisor. Okay, I'd love to give this question here to Professor Bill. It's from an anonymous attendee asking, what are the total ECTs for the MBA program? Also, does one see his or her CGPA on completion?
I think you do see your GPI completion. I'm not really sure. That's a good question. What was the first part of that question?
The total ECTs for the MBA program. So I believe the credit hours.
Oh, I don't know the total. The hours, I've never paid attention to that. That's not something I look at, but I believe maybe you know that, but I think it's nothing. The requirements don't exceed any standard that I know of. I mean, they're very, very regular in that regard. In fact, sometimes the credit hours come in about the same as I remember. I'm sorry, I don't have a direct answer for that.
Yeah, no worries. If anybody has like very specific questions about, credit hours and things like that, actually you'll find that you can download the university catalog straight from our website. It's quite a robust catalog. It has very detailed information about our courses and our programs, as well as our policies at Nexford. So you can even learn much more about this before you even get started. Okay, and let's see what other questions we have. Okay, we have a question from Ariyibi here in the chat, Ariyibi Olaronke, who says, is there a maximum hours limit one can spend on each course daily? Lani, would you like to answer this? Is there a limit for how much you can study in a day, do you think?
Oh, actually, no. So you can actually access the learning environment 24 hours a day. So it really depends on your learning time or studying time. So there's no maximum time, but you just have to finish the course within 2 months. So that's one term.
Yes, exactly, that's correct. So you can study as much or as little as you want per day, just as long as you complete each course within the time required. And we have a question from an anonymous attendee also. If we study for AAS at Nexford, then can we top up for the BBA? Certainly. What's great is actually if you take the BBA, Elijah might be aware of this, it already includes the AAS in there. So if you start off with the associate degree, you'll find that it's already included in the BBA program. So if you decide to top up with the BBA afterwards, you only have about half the course or the workload left. It would take half the time as well. Let's see. How long do I need to complete BBA program if I have an associate degree? Yeah, that's okay. I think it's an anonymous attendee also. Perhaps it's related to the previous question. Like I said, it would take about half the time, but this is definitely an average because it again depends on how fast you can go through the program. Dr. Bill, I'd love to give this question to you as well. It's from Inyania Michael. If performance in a module is not satisfactory to students, can it be repeated or can he repeat it?
Yeah, part of the learning is learning from mistakes. So there are certainly ways to do that. I don't see it happen that often, but occasionally someone will come across a stumbling block, and some areas are harder for people than others, and yeah, that happens. And yes, there are accommodations for that. Not often, but there are ways that we certainly take care of that. That's simply part of the learning process. And it would be managed, I'm sure, successfully. I've never seen someone hit a roadblock that we can't get through.
Exactly. So, certainly if you feel there's a challenge at any point of your program, the sooner you let your advisor know, the sooner that they can help you, as well as your professor. So never hesitate. You'll always find a team of support. All right, we have a question also here. From Charles Babatunde Fadipe, who says, I have checked out the MBA specializations, but still can't see which one fits my plan. I'm so happy you asked this question. For those who are unaware, there are 5 MBA specializations right now that you can choose from. And if you can't decide, which we understand because some of them might seem really attractive to you, some of them might be related to your, your study goals or your career goals also, you might be quite confused which one to choose between. We don't want you to worry. You can apply for your MBA. You don't have to decide right away. You can take your time deciding because the specializations are a stage that come at the end of your MBA program. So you have, your whole MBA duration really, or program length to decide your MBA, your specializations towards the end. Aside from that, you can always ask your success advisor as well as your career advisors. You're going to have a team to discuss your goals with, as well as your study schedule and everything. And if you are still feeling like there are 2, let's say, main specializations you can't decide between, you can actually take 2 MBA specializations. You can graduate with a double specialization. So that's an option for you as well.
I was just going to add to that. Sometimes people learn along the way that they want to change their mind. And that's very possible. It happens fairly frequently. So yeah, there's flexibility for that.
Exactly. Okay, let's see what other questions we have here. Okay. I think there aren't any new questions. If anybody has any final questions, we have about 1 minute left. We'd love to get to them. Okay, we have a question from Warlu here in the chat. Warlu Maharani, are there any science courses on Nexford? So we don't have any programs right now that are specific to science. They're mostly, business related. However, I do recommend you go on our courses webpage on our website. You might find things that are related to science, but they're not, we don't have any science degrees at the moment. Okay, Jason Siu also is asking how long to know the outcome of my application. Well, first of all, congratulations on submitting your application at Nexford. It's quite exciting that you've taken that first step. It depends when you submitted your application. However, whenever you submitted it, you only need to wait about 7 business days for our admissions team to get back to you with their admissions decision. So during that time, I recommend you keep an eye on your mailbox, just in case they reach out if they need any extra information that can help, the processing of your application. And as soon as hopefully you get accepted at Nexford as our new learner, all you need to do next is get enrolled. So you'll have the steps also from our admissions team about what you need to do next. Okay, let's take this final question from Adi Bukolo on the chat here, who's asking, do you have funding options? We certainly have some funding options for you. So at Nexford, we also regularly offer scholarships. So at first, I would recommend you go on our scholarships webpage to see what we currently have available and if you're eligible. If nothing suits you at the moment, or you don't feel like you're eligible for one of those, I mentioned earlier also, if you're based in Nigeria, we have just launched a Fund Your Future program, which is quite exciting. It's in partnership with Sterling Bank. So I recommend you also go on our website to learn more about that. So if anybody has more questions or you need links to some of the things that I've mentioned, please feel free to email us at help@nexford.org. You'll find a Nexford advisor that'll definitely get in touch with you. And for anybody still joining late or who would like a playback of this, final reminder that this is actually going to be sent to your mailbox. So you're definitely going to be able to watch the webinar again, and you'll also see it uploaded on our YouTube channel. All right, I think that's about it. Thanks everybody for joining us today. And thanks a lot, Elijah, Lani, and Dr. Bill for this great webinar.